was a place with all the zip of Nuka-Cola. Wouldn't that be the cheeriest place in all the world? Where the river's made of quantum and the mountain tops are fizz, with fun and games and rides for all the moms and pops and kids. But it turns out there's a place with all the zip of Nuka-Cola. Come on down to quench your thirst for adventure at Nuka-World.
Welcome to
a hidden office across the street from
the parlor at Nuka-World. I'll talk about how we got to this particular hideaway in this amusement park turned raider fortress a bit later, but to fill you in, today we're making every Nuka-Cola recipe from the Vault Dweller's Cookbook. I've already made an entire video dedicated to Nuka-Cola Quantum because it's by far the most common version of the Nuka-Cola Corporation's lineup to be produced in other capacities by Bethesda in partnership with companies. Jones Soda and G Fuel both have their own official versions of the unique beverage, and in that video, we made the Quantum recipe from the Vault Dweller's Cookbook to compare to the mass-produced variants. If you want 26 minutes of deep dive on Nuka-Cola Quantum and the actual recipe for it, check out that video. I've still got some here to sip while we prepare to make the other 3 Nuka-Cola recipes from the Vault Dweller's Cookbook. I forgot to charge my Pip-Boy, so I can't read off my wrists today, but if you don't know about the company that makes these controversial beverages in-game, here's a brief overview. The Nuka-Cola Corporation was a pre-war beverage corporation. By the time of the Great War in 2077, it was the single largest beverage company in the United States. Underneath the family-friendly facade, the corporation was a cutthroat entity that had perfected corporate espionage and was involved in covert weapons research with the United States military through its world-class team of organic chemists known as the Beverageers, emblematic of the ruthless world of pre-war corporate America. Their flagship soda, Nuka-Cola, entered the beverage market in 2044 with the invention of the soft drink by John-Caleb Bradberton after 2 years of experimentation. Though strictly unhealthy, as the company proudly proclaims that it contains 120% of the recommended daily allowance of sugar, it took the United States market by storm, and within a year it could be purchased nationwide. Its popularity rapidly increased, and within several years it was the most popular beverage across the globe. I chose to film this video at this particular location because as I traveled through the decrepit Nuka-World amusement park, I managed to bump into arguably the #1 Nuka-Cola fanatic, Sierra Petrovita, who mentioned that we might just be able to find the secret formula for the fabled beverage hidden away in the office of the Nuka-Cola Corporation's CEO, John-Caleb Bradberton.
I guess you could think of me as the world's biggest Nuka-Cola fan. I've been obsessed with the stuff since the first time I tasted it. I collect all the merchandise I can find. Like these awesome Cappy glasses I'm wearing. They were part of a really cool contest that started just before the war. The winner of the contest would get to meet the famous John-Caleb Bradberton himself!
Fun fact. The inventor of Coca-Cola in our timeline is John Pemberton, and Pepsi-Cola's inventor is Caleb Bradham, making the name of Nuka-Cola's CEO a portmanteau of theirs.
I'm betting that somewhere in his office is the original Nuka-Cola formula. That formula was one of the great mysteries of the soft drink world, and it would be the crown jewel of my collection.
Anyways, to get here, Sierra gave me these Luna Lovegood-esque lenses, explaining that they would reveal 9 hidden Cappy clues across the park. And once I collected them all, the hidden location of Bradberton's office would be revealed.
To win the contest, you had to find 10 images of Cappy, hidden throughout the park. Each image has part of a code or something, and only these special glasses can reveal it. I'll give you my Cappy glasses and this old contest holotape. Just track down the clues, and then come back to me once you've found them all. I'm an expert in all things Nuka-Cola, so I'm sure I'll be able to decipher it. Happy hunting!
I just wanted to film a quick video about fictional sodas, but in the words of everybody's favorite ghoul,
Thou shalt get sidetracked by bullshit every goddamn time.
Here's a quick montage of said bullshit.
That's 1.
I'm not even sweating!
2 clues down. 8 to go. That's 3 clues. The letters must spell something.
Looks like you got some pesky varmints here in the Gulf that need straightening out.
I don't know about varmints.
You got yourself a deputy.
You look hard there, stranger.
The friendliest bartender in town.
All contestants for the Nuka-Cola drinking contest must turn in their indemnity waivers.
Okay, that's another clue found. Aha, got another one.
Everyone's still alive. Did you have fun in murder against mine?
More fun than a bale full of hay.
Clue number 7.
Now featuring a river of Nuka-Cola Quantum. Just look at that amazing glow.
8 clues. Almost done.
Where are you even going?
That's clue number 9. One left.
Welcome, boys and girls, to the Fun House. Oh, by all means, keep trying. You're doing great.
And that's all 10 clues.
Once I collected all the caps, Sierra decoded the password to get in, and here we are.
The letters definitely spell refreshing. It's simpler than I was expecting. Formula would be hidden somewhere. No way Bradberton would leave it out in the open.
After looking at his computer upstairs, I found a hint to the secret location of the button that we thought would reveal the infamous Nuka-Cola formula. However, after taking the hidden elevator deep underground, we instead found a hidden vault and, to our surprise, the still functioning frozen head of John-Caleb Bradberton himself.
That's John-Caleb Bradberton! Or at least it's his head. Wow!
Who are you? I haven't seen a real human face in so long.
He's alive! My name's Sierra, sir. I'm your biggest admirer. I love Nuka-Cola more than anything.
What the hell happened to you?
I made a devil's bargain, though I didn't know it at the time.
Apparently, he had become obsessed with immortality and hounded the government to be let in on the top-secret Project Cobalt in exchange for his Beverageers' expertise on organic chemistry to be used in weapons development.
Project Cobalt. Like a fool, I leapt before I looked. I've certainly paid the price for my short-sightedness.
He did not know until the latter stages of the project that they only had enough room for a head to be placed in the system, not one to cut his sunk costs. He still underwent the surgery, was placed in here just before the bombs dropped, and has been staring at the same wall for over 200 years. He probably should have hit up Vault Tech instead for one of their many forms of human preservation, but as we'll discuss later, and despite the vault installed here and the Vault Tech calendar behind me, the Nuka-Cola Corporation and Vault Tech were somewhat litigious with one another. This whole frozen head beneath amusement park thing also draws some clear parallels to rumors about Walt Disney in our timeline.
I couldn't stand being a frozen head. How could I drink Nuka-Cola?
John-Caleb is truly an amalgamation of inspiration from our beverage and entertainment moguls. Upon conversing with the lonely head, we were faced with an ultimatum. The storeroom with the Nuka-Cola formula and some weapon prototypes can only be accessed by cutting the power, which would also turn off his life support. He actually requests that we do this for him, as the past 200 years were unbearable.
I want you to shut off the power to this machine that's keeping me alive. I want to die.
What? No!
Are you really sure that you want to die?
I've had plenty of time to think about it.
You can't kill him! He's a great man! He invented Nuka-Cola! The best thing in the world!
Lady, you don't know what a torment it is. Being trapped here alone and staring at the same wall, decade after decade. Now please shut up while I talk to your more rational friend here. When the power is cut, the door to the prototype storage room will open automatically. Take anything you want. I don't care anymore. Just please, set me free at last. I can't bear this loneliness any longer.
Despite his wishes and the fact that we would receive the formula we've been after all this time, Sierra doesn't want to do this given that she could actually speak with the creator of the soda she's obsessed with, and surmises that she could probably get him to just tell her the formula. She offers us instead a Nuka-World maintenance jumpsuit.
I've got a limited edition Nuka-Cola jumpsuit.
A Nuka-Cola jumpsuit? Ah, I beg you to honor my wishes. There is no one else who can help me. I admit I'm flattered by her admiration, but I'm so tired in ways that words could not explain. I've lived far too long already, and I'm prepared to move on.
We can't accept her offer and walk away, and while he is at first furious that we would turn down his request, he eventually expresses some measure of gratitude because his loss of the will to live was largely driven by his lack of human interaction, which we have now remedied.
I'm pleased to know that even now, the legacy of my work is still appreciated. Sierra has made that very clear to me. I won't deny that it's nice to have some company again.
Alternatively, we can grant his request, terminating his life support and gaining access to some Nuka-Nukes and the Nuka-Cola formula we're after today. However, to my chagrin, we can't actually open the folder and look at the formula ourselves, only given the option to give it to a dejected Sierra who says she might make a batch, but it will probably just sit in her Nuka-Cola museum.
Now that you've got the formula for Nuka-Cola, what are you gonna do with it?
I'm not a chemist, but I might try to brew some up, just for fun. If that fails, well, I still got a new centerpiece for my collection.
We could initially accept her offer, getting the jumpsuit, and then cut the power anyways to get both, but then deal with a hostile Sierra. Or if you're a degenerate PC player with no qualms about using console commands, magically walk through the wall to do so without having to kill the both of them. No matter the route taken, annoyingly, we can't read the official Nuka-Cola formula we've been after, so we'll have to look to the Vault Dweller's cookbook instead. Before we get into actually crafting the sodas, I think it's important that we address the structure of the Vault Dweller's cookbook, as I didn't do so in my previous video, and it has some interesting implications as to the in-universe accuracy of the recipes themselves. The cookbook is written on one layer as if it is a standard cookbook produced by Vault-Tec to be included in at least one vault. We do not know which vault or vaults came with it though, as the introduction to the cookbook says, Vault-Tec takes pride in our fine vault communities, but your new home here at Vault
Number not found
is guaranteed to be our very best. On a second layer though, there are handwritten notes all over the cookbook. These are implied to be written by either someone who was born in a vault and ventured out, or a wastelander who seems to have taken up residence in a vault and either travels and returns a lot, or at least did explore the majority of the wasteland before settling down. The notes indicate a lack of knowledge about pre-war cuisine and culture, occasionally questioning ingredients like cream cheese, and suggesting replacements that would be more readily available in the wasteland, although I might not suggest using Wonder Glue in your dishes. I reached out to Victoria Rosenthal, the cookbook's author, to surmise the identity of this elusive note writer. But until we receive a response or uncover some more definitive hints, I'll refer to them as the mysterious wastelander for the time being. Because this cookbook was canonically compromised by Vault-Tec, certain recipes from other in-universe companies are not the official recipes of those corporations, but rather reverse-engineered concoctions that serve to replicate the flavors that Vault Dwellers would find familiar in the absence of the consumable products themselves. This is a unique and interesting method of explaining away the proprietary nature of these formulas and, more importantly, avoiding the use of dangerous chemicals that companies like Nuka-Cola were prone to utilizing in tandem with their covert nuclear weapons research on behalf of the US government. This is made apparent in the recipe for the classic Nuka-Cola. We're excited to bring you an entire line of Nuka-Cola products. Although we wanted to share the official secret recipe, including all 17 different fruits, we were unable to settle some legal differences between Vault-Tec TM and the Nuka-Cola Corporation. However, we've put our best scientists on the task and have come up with that cold, refreshing Nuka-Cola taste with a 566% more efficient use of fruit. Consider it our gift to you. For our purposes, because this is all fictional anyways, I will just infer that the Vault-Tec scientists were 100% accurate at duplicating these formulas without the negative side effects. This recipe will provide a special of +1 endurance for 30 minutes and pairs well with Dusty's Brahmin burgers. To make Vault-Tec's reverse-engineered Nuka-Cola recipe from the comfort of your vault, you'll need 2 cups of water, 3 cups of sugar, the zest and juice of half an orange, the zest and juice of half a lime, the zest and juice of half a lemon, 1 cinnamon stick, 3 cardamom pods, half a teaspoon of coriander seed, 2 star anise, a 1/4 cup of browning sauce, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. To make Nuka-Cola syrup, Combine the water, sugar, orange zest, lime zest, lemon zest, cinnamon stick, cardamom pods, coriander seeds, and star anise in a large saucepan and place over medium-high heat. Whisk until the sugar has dissolved and then bring to a boil. Reduce the heat to low and simmer for 10 minutes. Remove from the heat and strain into an airtight container. Add the orange, lime, and lemon juices. Should be about 1/3 cup juice total. Mix in the browning sauce and vanilla extract. Once cooled, cover and store in the refrigerator for at least 12 hours and up to 2 weeks. To make an ice-cold glass of Nuka-Cola, combine 1 cup seltzer water, ice, and 5 to 7 tablespoons of Nuka-Cola syrup, then stir together. And there we have it, Nuka-Cola. As close as Vault-Tec can get to it anyways. I chose to go with the 5 tablespoon amount because after the original Nuka-Cola Quantum recipe, 9 tablespoons of any syrup is just way too much for me. So we're going on the lower end of the spectrum today. And despite not having a cola nut ingredient, this does taste incredibly close to a cola flavor, which is really weird to me. I think something about the orange and lemon combined with all of those spices and browning stuff, it works out. It just sort of amalgamates into this spiced fruit flavor, and it's really good, and I wouldn't mind using this as like a caffeine-free substitute for a rum and coke or something like that. Also, while there may not be 17 different fruits used in the recipe, there are roughly 17 different flavor-enhancing elements of the syrup. Orange, lime, lemon, cinnamon, cardamom, coriander, anise, vanilla, and the browning sauce I used contains carrots, celery, cabbage, onion, parsley, turnips, parsnips, salt, and spices. As far as I'm concerned, that's good enough. I was originally concerned about the use of the browning sauce, as it seems like a much more savory flavor profile than one might expect. But the fruit flavors are much more dominant and only enhanced by the browning sauce's added complexity. I already know that I'm gonna get a bunch of comments if I upload this recipe as a TikTok saying things like, "Where's the cola though?" The Quantum recipe had a handful of those comments, and to be fair, I think a bunch of people just weren't aware that it was a recipe from a fictional franchise, but still. Also, like the Quantum, and like I previously stated, it does lack caffeine. Maybe I'll make versions in the future that do have caffeine, but I also generally end up filming these videos later in the day, and I'd rather not be super amped up afterwards. Now that we've made the original Nuka-Cola, or as close as we can get to it without an official bottle or recipe from Nuka-Cola Corporation themselves, let's move on to another one that uses this syrup in part of its recipe, Nuka-Cherry. According to John-Caleb Bradberton's computer terminal in the vault, Nuka-Cherry was originally the product of Merle Haverston before the formula's patent acquisition by the Nuka-Cola Corporation. Here's the notes. Original formula was a local, homebrewed pure cherry soft drink. Made slight adjustments to formula, but otherwise left flavor intact. Mixed with Nuka-Cola, then enhanced with color to boost visual appeal. This recipe in the cookbook does have some odd discrepancies. I'll read the note from the mysterious Wastelander first, which appears that it was taped over whatever might have been printed by Vault-Tec. I saw a special edition cherry-flavored bottle of Nuka-Cola in Diamond City and wanted to bring some back. After looking everywhere, none of the vending machines I stumbled across had any, so I figured I'd throw together a cherry variant myself. This would suggest that they composed this recipe and inserted it into the cookbook, but the title and rest of the recipe page appears in the typeface of recipes produced by Vault-Tec, which suggests to me that the recipe was crafted and printed by them instead. I'm going to explain this away as the mysterious Wastelander being excited about getting back to their vault to make this recipe and just putting this note over whatever Vault-Tec had to say about the recipe instead. Otherwise, the structure doesn't really make sense considering the typeface and the fact that the recipe is found in the Vault-Tec produced contents page at the beginning of the book. This recipe will provide a special of +1 luck for 30 minutes and pairs well with mystery meat-wrapped Nuka-Lurk. To make either Vault-Tec or this mysterious Wastelander's attempt at crafting a homemade Nuka-Cherry, you'll need 1.5 cups water, 1 cup of sugar, and 1 cup of pitted fresh cherries, halved. To make Nuka-Cherry syrup, combine the water, sugar, and cherries in a medium saucepan and place over medium-high heat. Whisk until the sugar has dissolved and then bring to a boil. Reduce the heat to low and simmer for 20 minutes. Remove from the heat and strain into an airtight container. Once cooled, cover and store in the refrigerator for at least 12 hours and up to 2 weeks. To make an ice-cold glass of Nuka-Cherry, combine 1 cup seltzer water, 5 tablespoons of Nuka-Cherry syrup, 4 tablespoons of Nuka-Cola syrup, and ice, then stir together. And here we have it, Nuka-Cherry. The flavor on this one tastes way too close to the regular Nuka-Cola. It's still got that cherry flavor, but it's arguably more sweet. It has almost as much Nuka-Cola syrup in it as the regular Nuka-Cola one did, because we went with the lower end of the spectrum on how much syrup to put in. So even though the Nuka-Cherry is a more diluted syrup, it still is sweeter, in a way more flat, because there's more liquid in there that is not carbonated. I feel like it could be more cherry-y and less cola-y. I know that it is Nuka-Cola, but given John-Caleb Bradberton's terminal, it does seem like they left the flavor mostly the same, but just added some Nuka-Cola to the Nuka-Cherry, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to me to have that much Nuka-Cola syrup in it. I just wish it was more cherry-y and not as sweet as that. That's kind of nutty. However, interestingly, the fact that we made the cherry syrup separately and blended it with the Nuka-Cola syrup to make Nuka-Cherry means that we can also get a taste of Merle's Very Cherry soda. To do so, I'll leave out the Nuka-Cola syrup and make up the difference with more cherry, although maybe not all the way, because I do not like how sweet these are, I'm not gonna lie. Also, I'm gonna build it out of order from the way they do in the cookbook, because I don't like the order of operations that they choose. It doesn't make sense to me. I would like to put the ice in either first or last. I'm putting it in first here because I know at this point how much ice to put in without overfilling a 16-ounce cup. They have a tendency in these recipes to not give you a quantity of ice, so it doesn't make sense to put in ice before you've put in all of the other liquids, because you might just put too much in and then you're just out of luck. But I've done this enough now that I know how much ice this thing needs. I did carbonate all this with the drink mate beforehand today, so just if you were curious. Alright, just a little bit of that cherry. I'm not going too crazy. That was 5 tablespoons of the cherry syrup by itself. It's a thinner syrup, so I think we're gonna be probably right in the pocket of what I like in terms of sweetness level, but let's see how close this is to my preferences. Okay, actually I could do with a tiny bit more. This one's a hard one to gauge because it's such a thin syrup compared to all the other ones. All of them are like rich, simple syrups, basically. We had about 2 more tablespoons there. Oh, that's great. That's nice. 7-ish tablespoons of Merle's Very Cherry soda syrup, and we are right in the pocket on that one. That is fantastic. I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to use fresh cherries for this video, but they came into season like the week I was getting everything for this, so we didn't have to use frozen ones, although I do have some in my freezer now that I'm not going to use. But the fresh cherry really comes through on this. It's very rich, in a way, almost like caramely. It's like a cherry pie, but minus the bread and spices. This thing is a cherry preserve as a soda, and I'm here for it. This is tasty. Thanks, Merle. One quick addendum on this one too. Because Bradberton's file on Nuka-Cherry does suggest that they added coloring to boost visual appeal, and seems to indicate that they didn't really add enough Nuka-Cola to completely change the color of it, but added a drop of red food dye instead. Let's give that a shot and see if we can create something that's a little more close to how it's described in Bradberton's office. I'm gonna eyeball this one. To start, we'll just do maybe a teaspoon of the Nuka-Cola syrup. It's looking a little bit like dirty water here, not gonna lie. Let's see flavor-wise how this thing is. Honestly, I think that's better. That is such a potent syrup. That's all you need to get all of the flavors in, but still preserve the flavor of the cherry. We could probably even get away with even less of the Nuka-Cola, just enough to give it that flavor. I mean, it's really good. It competes with Coca-Cola cherry, Pepsi cherry, etc. I'm gonna go see if I have any red food dye, and if I do, we'll add a drop of it to it and see what the color does. BRB. One quick trip over to the overseer's office, and we got it. A little bit of red food dye. We're gonna go with 1 drop first. Oh yeah, that is coming through much more cherry-y on the color. I'm gonna go with maybe even 1 more. Let's try it, why not? I accidentally added 2 more drops. 3 drops of red food dye later. Honestly, that does look kind of like the color in game, so I can live with it. As expected, no real change on the flavor. To me, that's way closer to what I would expect out of Nuka-Cherry, because the emphasis is on the cherry, not the cola. Now that we've made Vault-Tech's approximation of Nuka-Cola, and either Vault-Tech's or our Mysterious Wastelander's attempt at a Nuka-Cherry formula, still unclear, as well as Merle's Very Cherry Soda, and our own version of Nuka-Cherry that I think is closer to what Nuka-Cola Corporation puts out. Let's move on to the final Nuka-Cola found in the Vault Dweller's Cookbook, Nuka-Cola Quartz. Produced as an exclusive regional variant for the American Southwest, the games contain no flavor descriptors of Nuka-Cola Quartz, only that it has a mild white glow. The cookbook interprets it as a pure vanilla flavor, which is honestly probably the safest bet. No need to overcomplicate this. From the cookbook.
Another refreshing twist on your favorite soft drink, this time with a smooth vanilla taste.
Interestingly, Nuka-Cola Quartz incurred some legal troubles for the Nuka-Cola Corporation. The Fallout 4 Far Harbor DLC contains a glimpse at one of their rival soft drink companies, Vim Pop Incorporated. They also produced a beverage using quartz in the name, although Vim Quartz was described as a bubblegum-like flavor. A terminal at the Vim Pop factory indicates that there was a legal battle over the trademark, but being the ruthless capitalist behemoth they were, Nuka-Cola eventually won, and it was predicted that Vim Quartz would be off the shelves by the following year. However, the bombs fell before any repercussions could take place. There is a recipe for Vim Quartz in the cookbook, so subscribe for a future exploration of Vim Pop Incorporated's beverage lineup. This recipe for Nuka-Cola Quartz will provide a special of +1 agility for 30 minutes and pairs well with Mole Rat Wonder Dip.
To make Vault-Tech's replication of Nuka-Cola Quartz, you'll need 1 cup of water, 2 cups of sugar, 1 vanilla bean split and scraped, and 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. To make Nuka-Cola Quartz syrup, combine the water, sugar, and vanilla bean in a medium saucepan and place over medium-high heat. Whisk until the sugar has dissolved and then bring to a boil. Remove from the heat and add the vanilla extract. Once cooled, place in an airtight container. Cover and store in refrigerator for at least 12 hours and up to 2 weeks. To make an ice-cold glass of Nuka-Cola Quartz, combine 1 cup seltzer water, 4 tablespoons Nuka-Cola Quartz syrup, 1 tablespoon heavy cream, and ice. Stir to combine.
This one's proving the most difficult. I should have done the math earlier, but I'm fairly certain that this syrup is the most concentrated amount of sugar, so it's a lot thicker. It's not wanting to stir all the way up. There we go. Yeah, we're looking right. I did take the liberty of straining out a lot of the vanilla. It didn't say that we should or had to, but I didn't want to not do that. So we still have some little vanilla bean bits in here, but I didn't want to leave all of the chunks in there because it was a lot. I have some very large vanilla bean pods for some reason. But there we have it, Nuka-Cola Quartz. And the best way to describe this flavor is like if melted ice cream was a soda. It's incredibly difficult to describe beyond that. It's sweet, very intense vanilla flavor. One might say pure vanilla. That's a 10. As simple as it is, it might be my favorite. I don't know. That's really good. I like that a lot. The carbonation creates just a tiny little bit of acidity that isn't offensive, and it's just good. I think it's nice. And with that, we've made the official recipes for these 4 Nuka-Colas, or as official as Vault-Tech's reverse engineering can get anyways, as well as Merle's Very Cherry Soda, and our own pass at a more accurate Nuka-Cherry. There are almost 40 different Nuka-Cola variants out there, but the Nuka-World DLC that added a lot of them also adds recipes for them. The vast majority added by the DLC are blends of the main Nuka-Cola entries. The staples we're missing to be able to make all the Nuka-World mixing station exclusives are Nuka-Cola Dark, Nuka-Cola Wild, Nuka-Cola Victory, Nuka-Cola Grape, and Nuka-Cola Orange. I'm working on their recipes this month, but once we've got them made, we can do all 20 custom blends from the DLC. Subscribe so you don't miss that absolute monster of a video. Our next foray in the wasteland will be on cocktails found in the Vault Dweller's cookbook that use Nuka-Cola, and perhaps we'll check off one of those staple Nuka-Colas too. But up next week, we need to travel back to Skyrim for some news. Shout out to the noble benefactor, IKnewThatWasADog. If you'd like to support this channel as we grow, feel free to join with a channel membership or over on Patreon. There are some really cool perks. If you somehow missed the Nuka-Cola Quantum video, check it out over here. Or if you didn't see the channel update video and content roadmap, tap here. Thanks for watching, and see you in Dragon's Bridge next week.